my name is Heather. Thank you so much for bringing your kiddo for us to take a look at your car seat, or your booster seat rather, and make sure that it's safe. To begin, I just have a little bit of information I need you to please fill out for me in this gray square, and I will take a look while you do that. Great. I'm going to tell you that I think it's great that your kid is in a booster. This is wonderful. It's good to keep them in a booster as long as they need to be, because it will really help protect him from being very injured in a crash. So,
yes.
Great job there.
Safety is our priority, our main priority.
That's right. I love to hear that. I love when parents say that to me. So I just wanted to say that I noticed that Hudson is in his seat in a great way. So we've got, well, he moved a little from the last time I looked at him. What I meant was the seatbelt is routed to the correct position. So we want it routed underneath. We do have a little twist, but we want it routed underneath the armrests on either side. So that's good. And on this side, Hudson, if you lift your hand up for me, we've got the shoulder belt and the lap belt under here, so that's perfect. Now, the way Hudson was sitting when I saw him was like this, yes. Which is the way he should be sitting. But there is something that the seat has on it that will help that from sliding off, and I'll show you that right now.
Okay.
All right, Mom, so one thing that I saw is when we looked at your kiddo a second ago at Hudson, the seatbelt slid off of his shoulder. And so that's dangerous, because if you get into a crash, his body is going to go forward. His head, neck, and spine have the ability to be seriously injured if we don't have the seatbelt correctly on his body. So what we're going to do is go through this little belt positioner on the top here. On this head restraint. Yes. So we have the head restraint in about the correct spot, because we want his ear to be about in the center of that. And so since we've routed this through the positioner, it's going to keep that seatbelt on his shoulder and his sternum right where it's supposed to be. So that's not going to slide off the side of his shoulder anymore. So this is a really good fit. Like I said earlier, you have the seatbelt routed correctly as far as having it under the armrests. That's where we want both pieces of the belt on that side and the lap belt on this side. And so just making sure that we got that shoulder belt part routed through the positioner. Give him a perfect fit. Right. So he looks wonderful. Hudson, how do you feel? Good. Good? Do you feel safe in there? All right. Can you give me a high five? Thank you. All right, Mom, so since we are not entirely sure exactly what Hudson's height and weight are, what I'm going to do is use this scale and this measuring tape to find out what those are. So, Hudson, if you wouldn't mind standing right up here for me, just stay real still for a second. Okay, we have 55 pounds. Okay, you can step down. Thank you. And stay real still for me, Hudson. Okay. We have 53 inches. Oh, you're tall. All right, Mom, so this seat, like I said, is in really good shape when he's in it, but I want to talk to you a little bit about safety when he's not in the seat. So to protect you and anyone else who might be riding in the vehicle with you after Hudson's gotten out of the seat and unbuckled it, we're going to look at what will actually keep this booster in the vehicle seat and not let it move around. Okay? So you'll notice there are some harness straps right here at the front of your seat. So in most car seats or child safety seats, we don't use the lower anchors and seat belts at the same time. Most of them. This seat, however, is a booster, and so it's set up to where you can use these lower anchors to hold this seat into the vehicle seat. So even when Hudson's not sitting here, these lower anchors being attached, you can see the little buttons that are on your seat that show you where those anchor bars are. So these hooks are called part of the latch system. Yes. And so we have them in place. So the way that we tighten that is we pull this harness at the front, and the way to loosen it is there's a little button in here. Okay. And you just stick your finger underneath the harness part and push it up. Okay. And then it loosens. Gotcha. And you can remove these if you need to take this seat out of your vehicle. Okay. And so the other side one is just the same. It has the same looking harness, and then it also has the button underneath as well. And so that way you don't have to have Hudson buckle the seatbelt back up every time he gets out to keep it from moving around. He can just get out and go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mom, so I'm going to just tell you thank you, first of all, for keeping Hudson in a booster. I know that he's 8 years old, but I do want to let you know that most kids need to stay in a booster well after 8 years old. It's just because of the way that they fit in the vehicle and the way their bodies are developing. Most of the time they still need that little boost from a booster to make sure that they're safe. So the way that we can tell whether they're ready to get out of a booster or not, there's actually several things that we're going to look at. The first of which would be his legs. So is your little bottom set all the way to the back? Can you scoot all the way back for me? Okay. So see how when he scooted his little bottom all the way back, his calves are still hitting toward the top of the seat, and his knees are not exactly bent. So when his knees are bent, like if he was scooted forward like he was a minute ago, if his low bottom is all the way to the bite of the seat, which there's still room actually, then if his knees are bent and his legs can touch the floor, that's one thing. Another is when we're looking at, can you put your hands to the side on your seat for me? So when we're looking at seatbelt placement, again, that booster is designed to boost, so it's going to lift him up. So when we're looking at this seatbelt placement for the hip part, that's up on his belly. That is not down on his hips like it is when he's in that booster seat. The other thing is, if you look at where the seatbelt is, it is hitting his sternum, but it's going up past his collarbone and it's up on his neck. So in our body, for adults as well, the neck and the belly are full of soft tissue. There aren't bones there. So seatbelts are designed to stop when they hit a bone. So the closest bone is going to be all the way through to the spine in both locations. So that's why it is so great that you have Hudson in this booster seat, and it looks like you've got all the kids in the correct seat and where they need to be in the vehicle. And so I just wanted to make sure that you could see the difference between how the seatbelt fit him with the booster seat versus without it.
And I think it's so important for them to hear from an expert as well, because it's not just mom saying these nefarious rules, like he's hearing that this is what could happen, and so this is the best way to keep you safe.
Exactly. So as you can see, he is not ready to be out of a booster yet. So you're doing a great job keeping him in it, and this is the test that you can do to make sure. Anytime he says, "No, Mom, I'm big enough," you can say, "Well, let's take a look. Let's check." Let's check. So do you have any other questions for me? Is there anything else I can talk to you about?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I really appreciate you doing this.
Of course. So Mom, thanks again so much for coming in and thank you for caring about Hudson and his safety. And I'm so glad that he's going to leave even safer than he arrived.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.